Alright, what's up everyone? So in this video I'm going to be recreating this image on the right, and it's obviously a bad drawing. It looks like shit, I'm not gonna lie, but I didn't draw it, so uh, I'm not good at drawing either way. But anyway, I'm going to be taking images from like Unsplash and copyright free websites like Pexels and Unsplash, and I will just be recreating this. So this is supposed to be a moon or a planet, mountains, and then that's a cliff with a person. So the first thing I did was I actually found this off of Unsplash, and it had a moon right here, but I just did content aware fill on it real quickly, I think. Or maybe I used the patch tool and I just replaced it from a different part, but it was right in the middle, but that's what I did for that. So the next thing I did was I found this image off of Unsplash as well, and it looks like this, but I cropped it out already. It had a sky and all that, but I just didn't crop this out because it was blocked by the different cliff, and then I just added a exposure on it. That was for the highlights that you'll see later. But the next thing I did was I added this planet, and I got this off of Unsplash. All my images that I got were off of Unsplash, and I was messing around to see what would look right. And this bright yellow just it didn't blend well, so I had to put a hue and saturation on it. I just decreased the saturation all the way to 0 to make it look like this. So I was thinking about where to put this planet, but I was thinking about how big to make it and all that, but I wanted some depth of field in there with this mountain and stuff, so I just left it like that for a size comparison. And for the next thing I did, I got this cliff, and that's why I didn't take out this part right here, the background, because this was blocking it. But I just got this. It fit in really well. I think it really showed the size comparison with the planet and the person. So I just took this, and it obviously doesn't look right like that. So I had to add exposure, and well, that was for the highlights later. But I added the color balance, which turned it more cyan, so it blended well with the mountains because the mountains were naturally like that. And then I added curves as well to get this part darker because there's no light. The light was supposed to come over from this side, so there wouldn't be light there, so that's why I added that. And then right here is where I added the light source, and by doing that I just took the polygonal lasso tool and just made a like a rectangle basically, and then put a blur on it and put a gradient over it so it kind of faded like this. Um, so I decreased the opacity down a bunch because if it's up like that, that just doesn't look normal. So I put it down to 50 and it looks pretty decent. So for the next part, I did the second moon, and I did the same thing that I did on this first moon, and I just put screen on it to take away the black outer edge so it blended better. So it's just right here, you just click that and then go screen, and then I obviously had to make sure it was in the right direction so the light was towards the actual light in the image. So this image was pretty easy to do. I only used like 4 images and blended them all. It really took me like 20 minutes, so it's not that hard to be able to do this if you're working with a few images. It gets more complex when you're working with a bunch of images and blending them all. But the last thing I did on this was just added a camera raw filter and then just a normal filter over it. And I went with this right here. I thought it looked better than just a normal camera raw filter, so that's what I went with, and I just exported it from there.